2-minute rounds is our format here at Tuff-N-Uff. Two fighters making their debut. Marcel Hampton is wearing the black trunks with the red and the white trim. Trent Phillips is wearing the red and the black trunks, and we are set to go with round number 1 here at Tuff-N-Uff tonight. Early exchange, and already Marcel Hampton is putting that reach use to work for him. Nice stiff jab, lands, another jab. Takedown from Trent Phillips. He trains out of Xtreme Couture. They are known for their wrestling pedigree, and instantly he's got his opponent to the ground, negating that reach advantage.
Marcel doing a good job trying to squirm out of that. Got it to half guard right now, but Trent still doing a good job of staying on top of Marcel.
Again, both fighters making their debut tonight here at Tuff-N-Uff. Marcel Hampton is on the bottom right now. Trent Phillips, who trains out of Xtreme Couture here in Las Vegas, is in top position. Marcel looks like he's working for a guillotine right now. He does have that head, but the arms are disconnected from where it looks from our vantage point. Can't tell if it's fully clasped underneath, but he is starting to crank that neck a little bit. Will Trent be able to pop that head out and advance his own position? Right now he's back. There you go. Okay, so he's got the guillotine. It's locked up. He does have the body locked up as well. That looks like it could be getting relatively tight, Mahoney.
It's hard to tell right there. I mean,
you see how he's elevating the hips? I mean, Trent Phillips is doing a nice job staying calm in the situation, and there he goes. He pops his head out. Well done. Obviously a young man who has been in that position in training before.
Curious to see, how much energy he expelled right there. I mean, going for those guillotines, you can't blow out your arms early. And, I mean, yes, these are 3 2-minute rounds. This is amateur fighting, so they don't go the full 5 minutes. But still very tiring going for a submission like that very early on. But, they're both dry. If you're in that position, might as well go for it. You're not taking any damage in the interim.
And there is a lot to be said about the adrenaline dump that you have in your very first bout. In the first round especially, Trent Phillips remains in top position, though, as round number 1 comes to a close. Final couple of seconds left. He gets the back, still fighting for it, even though time has expired in round number 1, and Marcel Hampton instantly pops up to his feet, showing that he's still ready to fight. But Trent Phillips dominated round number 1, even though Marcel Hampton did a great job with the opening couple of seconds there in those early exchanges, using his reach advantage. Trent Phillips, the wrestling pedigree came through for him, did a great job with the takedown, and once he got his opponent to the ground, remained in a dominant position for the rest of the round.
And you can see Trent Phillips at one point during that, after he got out of the guillotine threat, he was, he had a crossface there with his elbow, and if you're wondering why he didn't drop those elbows onto Marcel's face, it's because this is amateur fighting, and elbows on the ground are not allowed.
That is correct. No elbows allowed in amateur mixed martial arts. So we continue on. Round number 2 is set to go. 2 more minutes on the clock. Final 10 seconds of the break here. Both of their corners have had an opportunity to talk to their fighters. Let's see how they adjust going into round number 2. The very first time either of these young men have been inside the cage. Marcel Hampton, you see on your screen right there, he's wearing the black trunks with the red and the white trim. And then Trent Phillips right there is wearing the red and the black trunks. Round number 2, we are set to go.
Curious if Marcel's going to be as cavalier with his kicks this time around, since he has tasted the takedown ability there of Trent Phillips.
Phillips comes out firing a couple kicks of his own. And Phillips shoots in front of the takedown, drives through, and gets it. Once again, Marcel Hampton is in bottom position. Trent Phillips is on the top. He is in half guard right now. No, he is fully in side control. And Marcel Hampton does, in fact, have that neck once again, but certainly not in a position where he can possibly even think about finishing his opponent. So he has got to do something beyond this. He's got to figure out a way to get back to his feet, because if we learn anything from round number 1, Trent Phillips has excellent ground control.
And we will not see the referee stand him up from a dominant position like side control, even in amateurs. But now Marcel has done a good job of getting it back to full guard.
He is still working on that guillotine, and you see that he is locking his hand over his right bicep right there. It looks like he could be trying to get that a bit tighter. It's still not quite tight enough just yet, but he is elevating the hips. He is searching for that submission. Curious how the judges are viewing this.
Curious, too, because Trent Phillips has his left arm around Marcel's neck. Could be looking for an arm triangle once he does get out. A little bit of a scramble, but Marcel's not letting go. Awkward position.
Marcel did a good job of getting back to his feet, but Trent Phillips remains heavy on top of him. And as they tumble back to the ground, Trent Phillips is now in full mount on Marcel Hampton. 30 seconds left in round number 2.
Marcel doing a good job of negating the damage. Reverses it right there.
Yeah, it looked like Trent perhaps was going to swing out and try to get an armbar from that position. Was unable to do it. Marcel Thompson doing a nice job getting back to his feet. Final 10 seconds of round number 2. Can he do anything with it? Phillips fires a kick. 3, 2, 1, and that is the end of round number 2.
Not a lot of striking damage done in round number 2, but the ground control clearly, in my opinion, dominated by Trent Phillips.
Yeah, once again, you were correct, Mahoney, that there wasn't a lot of kicks thrown by Marcel Hampton because he was fearful of that takedown. But what we did learn in round number 2 is that it doesn't matter if he throws kicks or not. If Trent Phillips shoots in for that takedown, he's able to get it. At least he was in round number 2. And once that fight went to the ground, very difficult in that amount of time to reestablish yourself on your feet. When there's only 2 minutes in a round, you've got to figure out a way to negate and stop the takedown if you want to keep the fight standing.
He did a really good job of not taking any damage, though, you know? I mean, but being on that bottom position does wear you out. It does take a toll on you when you're that fighter. And depending on how the judges scored, you know, I mean, he was threatening with the guillotine, but Trent Phillips was never in any real danger right there. So if I had to take an educated guess, I would say Trent Phillips is ahead 2-0 going into this 3rd round. Marcel is going to need a finish to win this fight.
I agree. Very precarious spot for Marcel Hampton, who you see on your screen right there. 3rd and final round is underway. Will he get the finish here in the 3rd round? Will Trent Phillips continue to search for that takedown that's been so successful for him in the first 2 rounds, or will he mix it up?
Nice
Less
left
than
hook
2
there.
minutes. Outside leg kick from Phillips does land. Hampton throws one, and instantly Phillips goes for the takedown again and gets it.
Really good double leg takedown there by Trent Phillips. Back to a familiar position we've seen throughout most of this fight. Phillips on top, Marcel on the bottom.
Both flyweights in their debut fight tonight, although neither of them look like it. Showing some nice jiu-jitsu here in the 3rd round, just like they have in the previous 2. They've been scrambling constantly. Another very awkward position, though, is what they end up in here. Marcel Hampton's now trying to transition to the top. Ends up once again on the bottom, though, with Trent Phillips scrambling into a full mount.
The back and forth continues here now.
He's looking for a triangle.
He's got about 35 seconds left in this round. Can he get out of this and cause any sort of damage to Phillips?
He does have him locked up pretty nicely here. If he can pull that head down in towards his body, Trent Phillips could hypothetically finish this fight. He's trying to extend the arm right now, perhaps trying to transition it to an arm bar. That's exactly where he's going.
Now he's back.
He goes back to the triangle. He does have that locked up. I mean, his foot is behind his neck. It's just sort of a weird position with the way that Marcel Phillips keeps turning in, or excuse me, Marcel Hampton keeps turning into Trent Phillips. Final seconds here of round number 3.
Marcel Hampton and Trent Phillips, ladies and gentlemen.
Fun way to start our night tonight here at the Cannery. Tuff-N-Uff, 2 young fighters, 24 and 25 years old, making their debut at Tuff-N-Uff. And you see, even though Marcel Hampton appears to have been outmatched in that fight, still very happy now that it's all said and done, and very respectful of his opponent. Good scrap between these 2 young warriors.
The wrestling of Phillips was the story of this fight, Dave. Trent Phillips wrestling won him this fight, in my opinion. You know, Marcel Hampton did a great job scrambling, but he just couldn't do enough in these short rounds, Dave. But both fighters, you know, successful debuts for both of them. I think they'll take this as a learning experience and be back again to fight another day here in the Tuff-N-Uff Fighting Championships. And it's always nice to see both fighters, you know, walking away unhurt.
The future stars of MMA, that's what Tuff-N-Uff is all about, is discovering a young, upcoming talent. And right there, we saw an excellent showing from Trent Phillips, who again fights out of Xtreme Couture here in Las Vegas. using that wrestling pedigree. Marcel Hampton also did a great job putting on a fun show. His game appeared to be on his feet, never really got a chance to showcase that, but I think that he learned something here tonight, and that's what the amateur ranks are all about. Coming in, learning a bit about yourself, about the opponents that you're going to face. What the judges have to say, that's what really matters. It's time to find out.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds of war, we have your winner by split decision, the red corner, Trent Phillips.
Well, that was unexpected, but in the end, we get the winner who we thought was going to win. But